Not too close.
All right.
Embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, we're always zoomed in.
Great.
We're visiting with Dana Lane, Mr. Vegas hockey aficionado. How's that?
Is that aficionado? That's like me trying to pronounce the Northern Arizona players.
All right, let's start with that, Dana.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on here with NHL hockey in Vegas.
Well, we're extremely excited about it. I mean, of course, the name came down about 10 days ago. It would be the Golden Knights, and they'll start playing in September. And, the big news now is, when are we going to be able to make trades? And maybe after Bill Foley makes the third payment that they're going to be able to make trades after that. But that is not etched in stone yet. I know Deputy Commissioner Daley has said potentially in March that they would, or in May actually, when they make that third payment, that they'll be able to start making some trades. So that'd be nice.
So right now I see a lot of mock drafts coming out there as prospective
I wish I had
players,
that much time.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that a lot of fun just to speculate on guys?
It's fun for me to speculate on goaltenders. It's fun for me to speculate on free agents. It is not fun for me to speculate on fourth line forwards. I don't have that much time. But once the trade deadline goes by and once it kind of settles down, then we can look at who potentially is going to be left, and then I'll make up a mock draft.
Let's talk a little bit about just the organization and how they built right now. They're very solid from top to bottom as far as organizationally, and the structure out here, the training structure is going up quicker than maybe even planned, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is an all-star team of scouts.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. Every single guy that they have on this staff, as far as scouting is concerned,
Yep.
Everybody says that they're the best at what they do.
Yep.
Now, the next step is getting the head coach, so that there's a lot of talk about who that might be. And of course, every time somebody gets fired, that's going to be our head coach. But, let's just see what happens. The interesting part about that is if you look at the bottom third of the National Hockey League, the coaches that may be on the hot seat or that you would think would be on the hot seat really are not, because they're either first or second year coaches. You look at Glenn Gulleton in Calgary, which a lot of people said, boy, what a great fit he would be. Well, Glenn's not going anywhere because the players like him. He's a good fit there, and he's got, if Brian Elliott starts to play well, he's got two solid goaltenders there that could carry him far.
How much work is it going to be, in your estimation, to put this team together once they finally start getting players, to get them to gel? They're all coming in. There's nobody here established. So how is that going to work in your estimation?
Well, the first thing for me is you have to get a coach that is established. And I know I've gone back and forth with some of my colleagues about the type of coaches that would work best here. But for me, I would want to get a guy that is established.
Right.
And the reason why you want that is when you're trying to get free agents, even though, hey, look, this expansion draft is going to enable Las Vegas to be probably better than the Florida Panthers were, which is the team that had the best expansion record, which came under 500, but still. The fact of the matter is when you are trying to still try to get players to come to Las Vegas, you have to have stability. That's why I said, wouldn't it be great if we had a guy like Claude Julien fall in our lap?
Sure.
Because there's a guy that has been rumored to be kicked out of Boston for the last 12 years and still is hanging on by a thread. If they didn't make the playoffs this year, I think Julien would be an available option. And I would love to have a guy like him here who has a ring, has been to another Stanley Cup, and really gives stability. I think you have to, and your management have to show a beacon of strength. And when you're strong, then people are going to want to come and be part of that. They're really not, in my estimation, there's a lot of great assistant coaches out there, but if you put an assistant coach in that position that has not won anything, this is why, Gallant's name came up because he got fired.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, that's the first big name. Everybody loves him, but let's keep in mind two things. One, it took him 8 years between his last job in Columbus and his job in Florida to get another job. Even at the AHL level, he wasn't a head coach. And on top of that, he's had one good regular season. They got ousted in the first round by the Islanders. Now, you could argue that the Islanders were the better team, or the Panthers were the better team, but the results say that a division winner did not go forward in the first round of the playoffs.
So when you start talking about stability, obviously Jordan McPhee provides that with his experience and composure, I'd like to call it, because
great
he's
work.
very cool, calm, and collected at what he does, isn't he?
Oh, he's amazing, and he's very calculated. I am impressed by his 2% body fat. He's incredible, and
He is a Hobey Baker Award winner. You know that, right?
Absolutely. Well, usually when people retire and they go to the bakeries a little bit more. And
I don't think he's retired, to be honest with you. I think he still skates in the off season, and we don't know about it.
I'm sure he does. And you can tell that I don't skate at all. So that's the difference.
And you can tell that I don't shoot at all.
Come on, we know better. You got to tell the story, Scott, because Scott gets on in between periods, gets on the ice, and walks out with a $50 Buca de Beppo coupon because he got the puck in the hole this big.
You got to do what you got to do to eat, right?
Good for you, my friend. You just come up here and you just get free food, and then you go back to Arizona and laugh at us.
Well, let's get back to the seriousness of the of the logo and the naming and all that. Is that something that you were kind of thinking in the back of your head, this was what it might be, or did it surprise you a little bit?
Oh, it surprised me, but it surprised me that I didn't think about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, the state of Nevada is the largest producer, the second largest producer of gold in the world. Now, even though we're the silver state, more gold comes out of this state than anywhere else in the country. So to say the Golden Knights, yeah, I kind of like it. And then, the playoff of, Bill really wants to give back to Army, where, obviously he was a cadet, and obviously he wants to give back to who made him the person that he is today. And I'm cool with that. The Golden Knights, if I had to pick anything that was a little bit of an issue with me, it was dropping the loss from the Las Vegas, Let us shorten it to Vegas.
Right.
We don't want to be told we have to shorten it to Vegas. That was my only thing. But really, to be, in all honesty, just win hockey games. You win hockey games. I do not care if you're called the Unicorns. Just win.
How has it been received with everybody in the Vegas area?
I think like everything else, I think you kind of live with it a little bit. I always kind of make the comparison to music. Sometimes you first get a CD. Yes, I still have CDs, and you listen to it, and you're like, oh, I don't like it. And then you listen to it about 5 more times, and you're like, yeah, I kind of do like it. And I'm telling you, the logo is fantastic.
Yes.
The logo is amazing.
Both logos. I like the alternate one as well. I thought that really was a nice work.
I thought it was very well done. It was worth the wait. And the name, listen, the guy puts down $500 million to bring a National Hockey League team to a city that's never had professional sports. You can name it whatever you want. I just want you to represent our city in the correct way when you're on the ice.
Exactly. And that was going to be my final question to you. In comparison to say Phoenix, for example, who's trying to get another arena in another location, struggle with ownership, struggle with trying to get stability, and all of a sudden you look at Vegas, you got to be a little bit jealous if you're from everywhere else, because you got a great owner. You might have one of the best, if not the best owner already. You got somebody that's created stability with a fantastic arena, building a great practice facility. So how much does that mean success-wise on the ice?
Well, in all honesty, and not to be arrogant in any way, but I've been in this town 25 years, and I've seen this town provide its visitors with the best of everything.
Right.
So there's no reason to think that we shouldn't have the best owner, we shouldn't have the best arena, and we shouldn't have the classiest people representing our organization or their organization. I feel like I'm part of it all the time. But I always want, no matter... Foley is a fantastic owner, and I understand that owners like that don't fall into your lap in every NHL city. And I'm sorry for Atlanta, and I'm sorry for Florida, and I'm going to be sorry for Carolina. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like this town has gone through 25 years of promises of people coming in here saying that we were going to build arenas and we're going to build stadiums, and nobody ever did.
Right.
There's a lot of us that are just like, we're done waiting. And we're glad it's being done the way it's being done, because what we have now is an organization that we can be proud of.
Absolutely. Let's finish up with the just an update on the practice facility. I'm going to go out there tomorrow and take a look at it myself firsthand. But tell me how things are progressing on that.
Well, it looks good. I think they're going to start putting some steel up. The problem is that they have a fence around it. So if I'm driving by, I can't really see it. But I think I'm, from the pictures that we have seen, it looks fantastic already, and it's far ahead of schedule. And Murray Craven, when you talk with him, he'll joke with you about saying that he has to live in that trailer out there. But maybe I'll just go up and knock on his door one day, and I'm sure won't remember me. But if you do walk around a little bit, you can see it. But it is coming along great. And what's fantastic is, a lot of people say, well, it's going to create competition between the ice center and the practice facility. It's not going to create competition. It's going to cultivate more kids that want to play hockey.
Exactly. And when you talk about more kids playing hockey, how big is that going to be for this UNLV program that's taking the steps in the right direction now? How big is that facility going to be for them?
Oh, look, we saw the plans, and right in the plans it said UNLV practice locker room.
Right.
UNLV is certainly in the plans, and if UNLV wants to take the next step to Division I, they do have to find an arena to play in. I mean, unfortunately, the Orleans is an option, but besides the Orleans, there's not a lot of options here, and I don't know if that practice facility, that certainly is not an option, but it is going to give them a first class facility to practice in. Not that they don't right now, but. When you have an absolutely. NHL quality practice facility.
And it's big for kids these days to recruit, to have them come down and see that type of thing. So.
Hey, look, how long did we pump this T-Mobile game up?
Right.
I know, didn't Arizona State played at Gila River?
Yes.
I mean, those are huge things for recruiting. And, we talk about, I'm sorry that the Winnipeg Jets moved to Arizona, but let's be honest about that. If Winnipeg never moved to Arizona, you would never have an Austin Matthews.
Yes,
Austin
absolutely.
Matthews would be all playing something else.
Yep.
So although everybody back east wants to say that hockey belongs back east and it belongs to Canada, well, guess what? The population is shifting out west, and when the population shifts, we're taking our passion for the sport with us. And hockey in the West, mark my words, is flourishing more and more every single day. And when UNLV can go Division I, NCAA Division I, and then you have Arizona State, and maybe we could get some of the Pac-12 schools to join along with the Utah schools, man, we might have something really special out here in the next 5 to 10 years.
Can't end it on anything better. Dana, thank you for your time again, as always.
Sure. Happy to do it. Always happy.